Left-wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
On September 5th, Oklahoma followed the lead of Florida, licensing PragerU as a state-approved vendor. Now, Florida and Oklahoma have already agreed to start using their content as part of their curriculum in schools. Texas is still debating this. There's a lot of controversy on this right now, but I'll let the pros kind of get into that. Now, if you don't know, PragerU is a conservative organization. It's created by Dennis Prager, and it produces videos on topics like history, slavery, politics, economics, culture, all of that good stuff. Now, Walanda, as the resident educator in the mix, can you tell us a little bit about your thoughts after you kind of looked into this PragerU situation?
Right. Well, first I want to address that education policies and curriculum are adopted by local boards. Since the buzzword has been about indoctrination, let me go ahead and define what that means, since that's been the buzz as far as concerned about left versus right. So indoctrination is the process of teaching or influencing someone, often in a biased or one-sided manner, with the aim of instilling specific beliefs, values, or ideologies. Typically, you will see that in education, religious realms, policies, social groups, and it could either be explicit or subtle in its approach. So with this group being a conservative nonprofit organization, with the educational resources that provides, again, that would be a question of, are you indoctrinating, right, students to believe these specific values and beliefs that may hold true for them? So that is the biggest concern, since we all want to, talk about the critical race theory, which, again, is not taught in schools.
Huge
but
concern.
That is the concern. The key word is the indoctrination piece. From the information that we did find out, since PragerU is not an accredited university, it tells you that that's what we plan to do. We want to indoctrinate. We want them to believe these specific values of how women should act, how males should act in society. So, yeah, definitely a concern.
Yeah, there's I've seen a few videos on there, man, and they just have me like mouth agape, just in awe of some of the stuff that they say, man. Like I saw one about, it's called The Short History of Slavery. And a short history of slavery, and it wasn't short, first of all. But anyway, Candace Owen is on there talking.
Oh wow,
man, she's. So here's the thing about what they do, man. They hit you with facts, but they try to hit you also with a bit of a twist of propaganda to kind of lean it in a way that, to me, what they're trying to do is take away guilt from white people. That's basically what the whole thing is. Like, from the videos that I've seen so far, it's like, we're going to talk about some facts, but then we're also going to make it seem like, well, it wasn't white people's fault. We're just doing what other people were doing. Or, hey, white people were the ones to save the world from slavery. Things like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's, from what I've seen, I sat there and I just watched them. Some of it's true. Some of it's propaganda.
Man, it completely just tripped me out altogether, man. It just took me back to, and my thought is like, how deep is this, or how much can this like just really affect people? And I thought about when I was in school, like we didn't have no control on who gave us the textbooks or whatever. Mm-mm. And when I was talking about it in our meeting this week, I talked about Scholastic. That was the big name, and those people and everything Scholastic got us. That's what we learned. Now PragerU is going for that business now in these states. I mean, that's just a centralized attack on changing what the message is. I saw the one that had with little Christopher Columbus on there, and that's what tripped me out too. These are like in cartoons for like first graders. You know what I'm saying? This ain't like no, like they're going to the heart of changing what the narrative is when it comes to slavery and Black history and all of that, and just really just. With a better term, whitewashing everything, and like, hey, slavery was okay. Everybody did slavery pretty much, and just let's erase that history so we don't have to talk about it anymore. Yeah. And like when you say propaganda, well, what's the purpose of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the purpose of erasing people's histories? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't erase the Holocaust, and that happened way after slavery did. You don't even hear anybody mentioning nothing like that, talking against it, saying they're not going to teach that in school. But when it comes to slavery and black history, what, are white people tired of it? Well, guess what? We were tired too.
Yeah. No doubt.
We're still tired. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You think we want to talk about it all the time? Do you think we want to address it? No, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So now you got a whole educational attack against it with a company that's going out and now getting legislations and legislators and all that stuff to indoctrinate this into the schools. Yeah, but voting ain't important. You know? Being aware of what's going on politically ain't important.
Right.
Yeah, well, nah. That's why they call it being woke. Like, wake up,
Wake
man.
up. Right.
Like, that's what they're doing. Then it's too late if you go into your school and you're asking your first grade teacher why your kid's coming home and talking about slavery is okay and
Too late.
yeah, and
Because that's what's going to happen.
we're all one color and all of that stuff. As they're taking their power away to vote, as they gerrymandering their districts. You know what I'm saying? It all starts there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I also think it's crazy because PragerU, and this is from PragerU.com, so please go to the website if you want more information on PragerU. This is, fact check. But they're not even an accredited university, meaning their information. So let's say you go to school, right? And you have to go to certain schools. They have to be accredited for you to get a diploma. Or you go to university, get it accredited for a degree, meaning some people go to schools and they don't have any accreditation, meaning I can't go to college with that information. So just understand, and none of this is accredited. So in order to meet that criteria, it has to have quality assurance, right? So it has to mean terms of the curriculum are up level of quality. They don't have that. Transferability, meaning that you can go to any other school and that information will apply any place that you go throughout the state. They don't have that either.
No.
Federal funding, so they can't get funded federally because again they're not accredited. So the feds won't supply information or as far as funding to them on that. So students they don't get money. And then the last one was employer, of course, recognition, and then continuous improvement. So they don't meet any of this criteria. So why in the world would you adopt a curriculum that doesn't meet quality assurance? So that's just questionable all on its own. So they know there's some things that you can question on PragerU and the curriculum that they're trying to provide.
So when you say that they don't receive federal funding, can they still receive funding from the state? And is that how are they getting contracted and getting paid for the youth? So they're getting state funding.
Right. So there's a difference between federal funds and state funds that you can receive.
So basically they're getting money. But what you're saying is they're not getting federal funding.
Right. That is correct.
Okay.
So it's going to become a point where if I live in Texas, I'm not going to learn anything about slavery. I'm not going to learn anything about black history. I'm not going to learn anything that talks against what the Anglo-Saxon did to other people here. I mean, sooner or later, they'll probably talk about Native American history. Whatever they don't want in there, PragerU ain't going to teach. Some guy just...
Well, they're not allowed to anyway, because here's the thing, like CRT, we can't, like, y'all can't talk, like, and don't get it twisted. I know that critical race theory is not the discussion around slavery, but that's how they apply it here in Texas. They like, hey, critical race theory, we know that's a whole different thing. It's basically stating that race has a impact on society, the laws, the rules. That's CRT. In school, they try to, just don't talk about slavery. But now they're kind of like peeling back the onion and saying you could talk about slavery as long as
you turn it from a different narrative.
Right.
Hey, slavery was okay. Y'all learned to trade, just like Dan DeSantis said. You know what I'm saying? So some guy pretty much came up with an idea and said, hey, man, let me figure out a way to change the narrative when it comes to this. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start attacking the school districts. Once again, local and state politics.
That's correct.
And I'm going to get this changed over periodically. And right now he's going to probably the radical red states with governors that are going to bend a sympathetic ear to it.
Right.
And just attacking it that way. And next thing you know, your kindergartners are looking at a cartoon with Christopher Columbus running around saying, hey, slavery was okay. Yeah, it was pretty good. Y'all, most black people got a trade out of it.